And I know that my family got a spread of collard greens and cornbread and mac and cheese and some good turkey and some good food and some sweet potato pie and all that and you know, and all that good food, and I'm gonna sit at home
and not eat.
That ain't gonna happen.
Or go out and get you something that you nuh-uh.
Or I'm gonna go to Mimi's.
Yeah, no.
By myself.
No.
Come on, people. I want you to have some common sense.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that being Hebraic that we don't want to do is to isolate our families from us, because we're walking in a different dynamic of truth.
All right. That's a little piece of what I wanted to share with you. I'll let you hear the words of a man who they call a rabbi. I'm not trying to put anybody super on blast, but I will say this. You and I have to be able to pick a side, okay? There's individuals inside of our family, okay, because that's what we are. We're a family, okay, that will make it okay for somebody to meet and talk and spend time in an environment that is wicked and that's evil. And the idea of doing this is behind keeping your family. As you guys have noticed, I've been telling you that we put our family, we put our friends, and we put our other things in front of the Most High, you know, and this is a problem. So I'm letting you guys know where I'm coming from, okay, as a teacher to you. Others are going to tell you that it's perfectly okay to go sit down with a whole bunch of people, right, that is cooking ham, cooking turkey, and they're celebrating the death of the indigenous people who were here, and they think it's okay, and saying that there's no violation of the Torah. You could do this because it doesn't violate any of the commandments of the Creator. It doesn't violate any commandments. So because it doesn't violate any of the commandments of the mitzvot that the Creator gave us, you and I have access, and you and I could go to these different events, okay? Also, what was said is that even though this person may have Christmas, because they don't think that Thanksgiving is pagan, okay? They don't think that Thanksgiving is pagan. And they don't believe that other days like, you know, 4th of July, you know, different times like that are, you know, pagan, because it's not addressed in the Torah. So because it's not addressed in the Torah, from their perspective, they think that it's perfectly okay. Okay. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to understand that as Yahweh's people, he gives us a clear warning about who we hang out with. Okay. He lets us know off the top who it is that we're hanging out with and what the problem is. So what I want to share with you is some insight on why, okay, you should not participate with anybody that's doing anything pagan, okay? Not only pagan, but why you can't hang around people that are doing that which is contrary to the Creator, okay? And it's just what it is. Yisrael, when the seer Balaam saw us, he said, I see them, that they're not numbered, and they're not numbered among the nations. They're completely separate. They're alone. I see them alone. I don't see them with anybody. They're not even numbered among anybody else. Yisrael is so different, like I've been saying. We're different people. But listen to what Yah has told us in 2 Chronicles chapter number 19. Little backdrop on this. There's two kings that are being discussed here. One is called Jehoshaphat. He's the king of Yehuda. And there was another king that was part of Israel. I forgot his name. I could look in 18 to tell you. But it was another king from Israel that wanted to join up with Jehoshaphat and wanted to have him join into a war with him. And because they're relatives, he say, hey, we're brothers, right? We're the same people. Why don't you come up here and help me fight these people? And he went up there and he joined up with them. And they called a prophet. He said, well, isn't there a prophet here? And one guy came out and he said, if this prophet comes, he's just going to say negative stuff, about what I'm doing. This is what the king of Israel, the northern kingdom, was saying. So Jehoshaphat went up and he went to war with this king. And when he came back, the prophet said this to him. Then Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda, returned home to Jerusalem in peace. Yehu, the son of Hanani, the seer, went out to meet him and said to the king Jehoshaphat, and this is the question that Yah is asking us, okay? Should you help? That's the question. Should you help the wicked and befriend those who hate Yahweh? That's the question. See, I told you people are going to be running their mouth and they're going to be telling you everything that they think. Okay. And they're going to say stuff about Yah that's not true. Should you help the wicked and befriend those who hate Yahweh? That's the question. Okay. Because of this, Yahweh's anger. Yahweh's anger is upon you. Why? Because this guy right here, Jehoshaphat, okay, went and he helped somebody that was wicked and who hated Yahweh. Made friends with that in particular family member. I know I'm not going to be liked for this, but it's okay. Call me radical, call me whatever you like. I'll challenge anybody with this because these are not my words. These are the words of the Creator. And because people don't read and they don't want to accept this, we say, well, that's just one place. Are you taking that out of context? No, I'm not taking it out of context. The question that Yah's asking his people is, should you help the wicked and befriend those who hate Yahweh? Should you be at any assistance with them? This is what King David said. The man is after Yahweh's own heart, his own mind, who received messages from Yah and inspired the children of Israel, the whole entire nation, the kingdom, to follow behind Yahweh. Listen to what he said. He said, blessed are those who reject the advice of the wicked. Don't stand on the way of sinners or sit where scoffers sit. Their delight is in Yahweh's Torah, right? On his Torah, they meditate day and night. And then he goes on to tell us what they're going to be like. But he says, listen, the wicked are not so. They're like the chaff which the wind driveth away. For this reason, the wicked won't stand up to the judgment, nor sinners at the gathering of the righteous. The wicked and the righteous will not be together, as we have learned in our Torah portions. There is no mixing between the righteous and the wicked, not from Yahweh's perspective. For Yahweh watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed because he doesn't watch over their way. And he is supposed to be our king, our encourager. Listen what he says. That was Psalms 1. Listen what Psalm 5 says. Psalm of David. Give ear to my words, Yahweh. Consider my inmost thoughts. Listen to my cry for help. My King, my Elohim, I pray to you. Yahweh, in the morning, you hear my voice. And in the morning, I lay my knees before you and you wait expectantly. For you are not an Elohim who takes pleasure in wickedness. Evil cannot remain with you. Those who brag cannot stand before your eyes. You hate all who do evil. You destroy those who tell lies. Yahweh detests men of blood and deceivers. But I can enter your house because of your great grace and love. I will bow down towards your holy temple in reverence to you. Lead me, Yahweh, in your righteousness because of those lying in wait for me. Make your way straight before me. For in their mouths, in the mouths of who? Of the wicked, there is nothing sincere. Within them are calamities. Their throats are open tombs. They flatter with their tongues. Elohim, declare them guilty and let them fall through their own intrigues. For their many crimes, throw them down, since they have rebelled against you. But all who take refuge in you rejoice, and let them forever shout for joy and shelter them, and they will be glad, those who love your name. For you, Yahweh, bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor like a shield. Yah is not in the business of helping, listen to me, the wicked. Earlier this week, we read and we went over what he says about the wicked. You're supposed to tell the wicked that you're going to die if you don't do what I'm telling you. But not our people. Our people want to sit down and entertain those people. And then, bring your Bible and then have a debate about what the New Testament said versus what the Creator said. That's not for that. And you're doing this because of your stomach. What did Yah tell us about having festivals with people that don't follow after him? He says it all the time. Be careful. Even talk about the Ka'anani. Don't go to have nothing to do with their feast. Don't have nothing to do with these people because they're in trouble. And if you are going to go and talk to them, then you should tell them what Yahweh says. And guess what? At their party is not the time to tell them what he says. Radical. A literalist. I'm taking this literally. By Dawid. This is what he says. Vindicate me, Yahweh. For I have lived a blameless life. Unwaveringly, I have trusted in Yahweh. Examine me and test me and search me. Right? Test me, search my mind and heart. For your grace is there before my eyes, and I live my life by your truth. I have not sat with worthless folks. I haven't sat down with them. Right? I won't consort with hypocrites. I hate the company of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. This is your king telling us this. This is the man after Yah's mind. I'm not sitting with them. I'm not eating with them. I'm not consorting with them. I'm not walking with them. I'm not talking with them. I'm not getting advice from them. I'm not counseling them. I'm not doing none of that. The only message that you're supposed to tell the wicked is to repent. And Yahweh's people are the ones that are wicked. But no, you and I are supposed to sit down and indulge them. You see, so we can, share being a Hebrew Israelite. And maybe along the way, you can do some ministry to them and maybe they'll turn around when they see how you're living your life. That's Christianity, people. That's Christianity. Dawid says, I will wash my hands in innocence and walk around your altar, Yahweh, lifting my voice in thanks and proclaiming all your wonders. Yahweh, I love the house where you live, the place where your glory abides. Don't include me with sinners or my life with the bloodthirsty. In their hands are evil schemes. Their right hands are full of bribes. As for me, I will live a blameless life. Redeem me and show me favor. My feet are planted on a level ground. In the assemblies, I will bless Yahweh. You and I can't walk with them. You can't straddle a fence with them. And I'm telling you today, it can't be over no food. I don't see anything wrong with you eating with your family. I don't see anything. It's a great time to do ministry. It's a great time for you to tell them how was about your life. But the whole time that they're doing this, right? These evil people, these schemers, well, Dawid, it seems like you turn us against our family. I'm telling you what Yahweh says. I'm telling you what he says. If you want to be with Yah, you got to make your choice. It's literally like what he told the Levites. Who's with Yah? Get on Yahweh's side, because at the end of the day, those meals and those parties and those opportunities that you're sitting with them, it's going to do them no good. When you go and you hang out with people, you're letting them know that, hey, it's okay. The whole time they've been cooking pork and putting it on the dishes and the food and everything, the house is contaminated. Well, that's religion. So food that Yah told us is religious? I don't think so. Are you going to befriend the wicked? Listen what Dawid said. I believe this is Dawid. No, this is in the book of Proverbs, Mishle. Okay. How to rule, right? And how to make comparisons. Listen what he says. He says, Yahweh detests plans to do evil. But kind words are pure. The greedy for gain bring trouble to his home, but he who hates bribes will live. The mind of the righteous thinks before speaking, but the mouth of the wicked spills out evil stuff. Listen what this says. Yahweh is far from the wicked. Are you with Yahweh? Because if you are with Yahweh and you want to walk with Yahweh, you can't walk with the wicked. You can't sit with the wicked. You can't consult with the wicked. You can't entertain the wicked. But he listens to the prayer of the righteous. Yah's far away from those people. So why are you there? Why are you there? A cheerful glance brings joy to the heart, and good news invigorates the bones. He who heeds life-giving correction will be at home in the company of the wise. Those who hang out with wise people become wise. Those who hang out with fools will become fools. Those who hang out with the wicked, you're going to get some on you. Okay. He who spurns disciplines detests himself, but he who listens to correction grows in understanding. And the discipline of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh. The fear of Yahweh is to say, I'm willing to learn from you. So before being honored, a person must be humbled. They must be humbled. Okay. They got to be humble. But the wicked are not so. Don't fall for this stuff that's going on. These are people out here, these so-called leaders. They're enemies of the Most High. I'm bringing you through all these different places so you can see that this is not something that Dawid just made up. This is the truth. The truth of the matter is that people don't want to leave and abandon their families. And that's what's going to get them killed, is their family. I'm going to be 100% with you. Yah says that you need to depart from these people. And I'll show it to you, okay? Chapter number 17 of Proverbs says this, 13, evil will not depart from the house of him who returns evil for good. And so what is evil? What is Ra? Somebody tell me. What is evil?
Ra.
Yeah, and what is Ra? The Resh and Ayin. What is it? What does it mean? Dysfunction. It's misery. It does not contain any truth. The right that people think they are doing, saying that, I'm righteous or I'm doing that which is right, I'm a good person. So they're saying that they're Tov, and Tov for us is in English is good, but Tov means it's functional. So either you have something that functions or something that's dysfunctional. Somebody that's trying to prescribe their own way of righteousness and doing what they feel is right is not Yahweh's righteousness. It's not. If it's not according to the Torah, it's not right. You get your righteousness from the Torah. You get your understanding from the Torah. You get the your humility from the Torah. You get exalted from the Torah. Okay. So the individuals that are out here that are not doing what Yahweh said are not good. They're on a different path, and that path is Ra, R-A in English, Ra, dysfunctional, misery, bad, dark, and it's not good. And the reason why we have problems is because you and I don't really fully understand. We haven't accepted this. Okay, we have to accept this. Listen what he says. I picked this because it says in verse number 15, he who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both are an abomination to Yahweh. What do I mean by justifying the wicked? Somebody tell me. What is justifying the wicked?
Encouraging, going along with them, thinking it's okay because you believe differently and they believe differently. There's time for them, all those different sayings they use.
Man, you guys you put it out there. That's it. There's nothing to be added to what you said, Dr. Yared. Nothing. You and I have the I would say the burden. We have the burden of sharing like this truth. Like it could literally, it's a burden sometimes, right? To them, because you're like, okay, I got to tell this person this. But I like what you said. You're not encouraging them to continue to do wrong. Like, okay, well, you know what? I know that me and you, we're just on two different paths. Like this in particular person that I heard you, had you listen to, he said that he didn't say two different paths. He did not say that. He did not say you're on two different paths. Okay. He did not say it. I'm going to do this right here just for his protection. Okay. Because even though I'll say something about our people, I'm not trying to destroy them. I'm trying to destroy what they're saying. Okay.
And the question.
Listen to what this man said.
Sense.
Listen.
I'm gonna go to Mimi's.
Yeah, no.
By myself.
No.
Come on, people. I want you to have some common sense.
Okay.
The one thing that being Hebraic that we don't want to do is to isolate our families from us because we're walking in a different dynamic.
You hear that? What did he say?
He doesn't want to isolate our families because we're walking differently.
Yeah, he said we're walking in a different dynamic of the truth, of our truth. Did you pick up on that? He said that he put it on us. Did you hear that? We don't want to isolate them. Right? Is that what he said? I'll play it again.
From us because
listen what he said.
Being Hebraic that we don't want to do.
We don't want to do.
Is to isolate our families.
Let me ask you a question. When you came into the truth, who isolated who? Did you isolate them?
No.
It's the opposite. Am I right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So this idea that you isolated them is false. When I came into this truth, I didn't isolate anybody. I just simply shared what information I received. I never told anybody, hey, listen, I don't want to be around you, I didn't do any of that. But see, this is the blame game. Blame us, right? To say that, it's your fault. So if you don't want to participate now, it's your fault. You're the one who's isolating. You're isolating them. Why? Listen.
Us, because we're walking in a different dynamic of truth.
You hear what he just said? He said, not that we're walking on a different path, we're walking in a different dynamic of truth. See? Because he thought about it. He didn't say we're walking on a different path. Because if you're walking on a different path, that means that you guys are on two different paths. You don't go in the same direction. They're on one path and you're on the next, meaning that you stay on your path and I'll stay on my path. Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, but the way he put it, it was if that was more than one way of truth, so to speak.
Yes. Koti, he put it as if it's more than one way. And it's just right now, this is your understanding. This is your dynamic. This is how it works for you. They just, they on their truth and you're on yours. And so we shouldn't let that come in between us. That's what he said. Okay. Now listen to this.
That go to the tabernacle, that tabernacle.
Okay, let me go a little further.
Around this time.
Okay, go ahead. 45, here you go. Listen.
We move from this national holiday to a pagan holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, the big one.
The big elephant in the room.
Yeah, the big one at the end of the...
That centers around the solstice, what is it I'm trying to say?
The winter solstice?
The winter solstice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you go look that up and study that out now. That's the big one.
Yeah. And that's a great segue into that because we need to kind of touch on that too.
That's the big one that we stay away from. However, I'm going to come back to the issue so you don't have an ought with it. I don't buy Christmas presents. I don't accept Christmas presents. But my family is still Christian and they do Christmas trees and Christmas. But they also cook some good food.
Do you hear what he just said? Is that a compromiser? Is that someone stamping an approval? And this is one of the leaders out here in California. This is somebody that has a podcast that goes on and tells people all the time, right? That, hey, it's okay. You could, you have good food.
Right. Gotta eat.
Yep.
I'm not gonna miss no good food over no tree.
You guys got the point, right? Dawid, why are you sharing this? Are you trying to slam this, brother? Are you trying to tell? No, I'm trying to tell you that there's enemies in our people, in our nation. That's what I'm trying to express to you. What I'm trying to tell you is don't let nobody guilt you and put it on you because you decided to walk in Yah's ways. Don't do that because Yah has a plan for us, okay? And by the way, I could go over all type of scripture. I could go all kind of Hebrew. I can break it down. I can tell you the verb tense. I can tell you all that. But it's one thing that I do want to share with you. Okay, I can share this about those who abandon the Torah, praise the wicked, but those who keep the Torah in verse number 4, fight them. So if you're keeping the Torah, you're literally fighting the wicked. That's what we're doing. You fight them by the way that you live your life. You fight them. Why? Because evil people don't understand justice. And those who seek Yah will understand everything. So why would you sit in the council of the ungodly? Or why would you sit at the table with somebody that hates the Creator? Why would you be around somebody that refuses to accept what he says? Just so you can have an hors d'oeuvre, or just so you could drink some eggnog with some brandy in it? What is it? Or now is the most important thing food? If you notice, every time Israel had failed is because they were invited to a festival. Those festivals that these people are giving are idolatrous because they're idol worshipers. Okay. In the book of Jeremiah, and let's go there right quick. I just felt so moved to talk to us about this because it's getting ridiculous. People are doing really weird stuff right now, and this is not the time to do it. You probably already know where I'm going. In Jeremiah 10, it says this: the word of Yahweh speaks to you, house of Israel. Listen what he says. Here is what Yahweh says. Don't learn the way of the Goyim. Don't be frightened by astrological signs, even if the Goyim are afraid of them. For the customs of the peoples are nothing. They cut down a tree in a forest, and a craftsman works it with his axe. And they go on to talk about decking it with silver and gold and so forth and so on. You and I are not to learn the ways of the Goyim. You and I are not to have anything to do with their customs. This is a custom. Now, somebody tell me, I know you guys have studied. What's Thanksgiving about?
Isn't it really about what the pilgrims really massacring the Indians? And
Yes.
then now we celebrate it as a holiday.
We celebrate the death of a people and a massacre of them, right? And so that's number one. That's bad. That's terrible. Okay. The guy that I'm having you listen to, he's actually the other guy who's part of the podcast. He actually brought out a point about saying when 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed this into law, Thanksgiving, because he said it was a new start for them because the Civil War had ended. And so now this is, they're commemorating that we're starting off fresh. And now, it's the end of the Civil War. And then he tries to tie in us being emancipated, proclamation in 1863, but really didn't get recognized until like 1865 or something like that. But at any rate, my point in bringing all this out is that we're people. We're not a religion, right? So as hard as Yahweh appears to be with us in terms of telling us, like, I don't want you making friends and befriending the wicked. He wasn't talking about just the Goyim. He was talking about people that's even within Israel. That's what he's telling us. Like, I'm going to make a separation between you guys, those who serve me and those who don't. Malachi chapter number 3. I'm going to make a distinction between those who are righteous and those who are wicked. And you and I have to have enough wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to know that there are certain things that you and I can't do. Okay. So they also talked about, hey, I go to a party even on New Year's. I'll do that. Because it doesn't say it in the Torah, people are saying that you could do it. That's my point. They're saying that there's no law. There's no Torah against doing the New Year's Eve party. Long as you go and have some good food and don't abandon your family, because according to them, you're going to need your family when you get older. And by the way, this guy is in his I think he's in his 80s. So he's like, hey, you need your family, so don't abandon your family because you're going to need them. So the people that are wicked, the people that told you that they isolated you. Now, when you go back to them and you sit at their table and they're sitting there and they're praying in the name of this God, then, he said, well, it doesn't matter because, he's really no God at all. And then if they get you to pray and you pray in his name, then everything's okay because you prayed in the name of Yah, because they asked you because they know that you pray. So now they ask you to do that. I don't know if you guys remember me telling you, but my family totally ostracized me because I read Hebrew scripture at my own mother's funeral. And I blew a shofar at her gravesite. And ever since then, my own brother hasn't talked to me for over 3.5 years because of that. But I ostracized, right? So you said, well, man, you're taking this a little personal. Yes, I am. Because the bottom line is, why are everyone putting the blame on us? You see, everyone's waking up to the truth of who they are, but they don't understand the responsibility that goes along with that. As a teacher, my job is to tell you, what did Yahweh say? Yah has never told us to hang around anybody that does that which is wicked, So we don't supposed to learn their ways, okay? And we're not supposed to follow their customs. So it's not just their holidays, it's their customs. And any part of their customs is a problem for us. But I do want to share something with you to let you know, like, what the end game is going to be. This is the end game where you and I have to, it's going to be a clear cut. It's the end game. Okay. The end game is going to be found in chapter number 65 of the book of Isaiah. Okay. And this is what he says. Let's start in verse number 11. Okay. In verse number 11, let me see here. Let me see. I got to stop right quick. Let me see. Chat body. All right. All right. So here we go. Let me help us to get an understanding. Okay. Chapter number 65, verse number 11 says this. But as for you who abandon Yahweh, okay, who forget my holy mountain, who prepare a table, listen to this. They're preparing a table for God, G-A-D, okay? A God of luck, okay? A God of destiny, and fill bowls mixed with wine for many, and a God of destiny. I will destine you to the sword. So as you can see, people are telling you to go sit at somebody's table. When you go sit at somebody's table, you're abandoning Yahweh because you're sitting at a table that's not for him. The people that put the party on, and this is for the individual that you probably do watch my videos, I want you to read this for yourself, okay? The table, if the table is not prepared for Yahweh, the table is of another God. It's not his table. You and I can't serve two Elohims. You understand? Yah's looking for how much of us? He's looking for 100%. So if you go to a party and they got a table there, that table is not for Yahweh. That table is for another God. And more than likely, if it's in your family, that table is there for Christ and his father, which in Greek is called Theos. That's where you get your word theology, because it's a study of Theo, that God. That's where the word theology comes from Theos, which is the God of the Greeks. So this table is not for Yah. So Yah says, because you abandon Yahweh, right? This is what you've done, and you got another table, okay? Thanksgiving, somebody just take a guess and tell me which one of Yah's Moedim should have been for what it is for Thanksgiving. When do we give thanks to Yah? When do we come and set a table before him as a nation? Which one of Yah's Moedim said we gather everything in, we got all the work that we've done, and we're ready, it's harvest time, we're ready to give thanks?
Is it first fruit?
Nope, that's first fruit. Good
Nope.
Good guess.
Is it Sukkot?
It is Sukkot. It's Sukkot. In Sukkot, you are going to gather all the Yah has given you by your hands. You're going to gather the fruits that are, in that time of harvest. You're going to harvest the wine. You're going to harvest all those different things. So what we understand here is now when you talk about filling your bowls with wine, we know that this is around this time, is between October and November, that he's making reference to about this table. Okay, all because it says it's a God of luck. That's an English word, a God of destiny. But it's not our Elohim. It's not a Sukkot. So they couldn't do Sukkot, but now they want you to do Thanksgiving. And because they try to clean it up, they don't call it Thanksgiving. They call it Harvest Day. You guys need to be up on it. You need to recognize what's happening. He said, I will destine you, because you are going with the God of destiny. I'm going to destine you to the sword. This is what the Creator says. And you will all bow down to be slaughtered. I'm killing every last one of you. Why? Because when I called, whether that is to go to Sabbath, or whether that is to follow my diet, or whether that is to call and show up. How many times a year are you supposed to show up to Yah?
3.
3 times. You understand? And the 3 times are what? Number 1, they call it Pesach, but it's really matzah. What's the second one? You said it, Fanta.
First fruit?
It's first fruits, which is really called Shavuot. Okay. And third, you said it, Doctor, you read? Sukkot. Those are the 3 times. Each one of these have to do with agriculture, with bread, with the fruits and all that you gathered in. Everything that comes out of that ground. So that's your harvest times. But the time he says that this is what I want, here in Sukkot, the wine is brought because that's when it's at its full maturity. Okay? So I need you to listen very, very carefully to what Yah's about to tell us. Okay? So now we know what he's talking about, this table. He says, when I called, because when I called, you didn't answer. When I spoke, you didn't hear. But you did what was evil from my point of view, and you chose what did not please me. Well, you're saying, well, this is in the land. We're under grace right now. We can do whatever we want to. This is what happens when you follow people that are under that dispensational grace movement from the church fathers. They tell you that there are 7 dispensations. The first one they would call innocence. The second one they would call the law or whatever. And then the next one you'd have the grace. And the next one you have, blah, 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 blah. There is no 7 dispensations. That's something the European made up because they believe that they got a whole bunch of time, Dr. Ured, that you said that these people are here trying to encourage people that they got more time. You did what did not please me. Therefore, this is what Yahweh, the Supreme Master Elohim, says. My servants will eat while you go hungry. My servants will drink while you go thirsty. My servants will rejoice while you will be ashamed. Yes, my servants will sing for joy from their hearts, but you will cry out from pain in your heart, in your mind, and howl from an anguished spirit. I'm going to bring some pain on you. You individuals that did what you wanted to do from your own viewpoint. You chose this. So when you go sit at those parties and you're sitting around and you're drinking with them, having a good time, and you're eating hors d'oeuvres, let that be in your mind. When you're sitting there with your family, you're looking at them and you think that your presence there is going to cause them to turn to the Most High. You're out of your mind. You're going to be the reason why they die. There's no reason for me to change. Look, he's back. He's kicking it with us. Yes. My chosen will use your name as a curse. And this is what we're going to say. May Yahweh, the Supreme Master, strike you dead. Now, was he talking? Is this, in Isaiah's time? No, this is the time in which is coming, everybody. Because of these people doing what they want to do. This is the words that you and I are going to say. May the Supreme Master Yahweh strike you dead. That will be what you and I would say to these people, because he is going to strike them dead. But to his servants, he will give another name. So you got to ask yourself, am I a servant of the Most High? If I am, I don't sit at anybody's table. I'm like Dawid. I'm like Dawid. I'm going to subscribe to what Dawid said. I'm not going to follow anybody else. I'm going to listen to Yahweh's call. But there was something that I wanted to share with you before I let you go. And we'll get on Kai Sarah on Shabbat if Yah is willing. So, in the book of Isaiah, I'm trying to find out, here's what Yah would say, number 65 and 8. What is that? Oh. Is it different? 65. Oh, okay. Here it is. Okay, this kind of talks about, right before we got to that festival, kind of ties in. It's the same chapter. Yeah, it's getting on people, right? Because he said, I've been spreading my hands. He said, look, I made myself accessible to those who didn't ask for me. Verse number 1, I let myself be found by those who didn't seek me. I said, here I am, to a nation not called by my name, okay? I spread out my hands all day long to a rebellious people who live in a way that is not good, who follow their own inclinations. They don't follow what I say. They do what they want to do. A people who provoke me to my face all the time, okay? Sacrificing in gardens and burning incense on bricks. They sit among the graves. They spend the night in the caverns. They eat pig meat, and their pots hold soup made from disgusting things. I didn't play it in the podcast that this guy said. He says that even when he goes to the New Year's Eve party, they'll make a special thing of gumbo for him that doesn't have any of the stuff in it. So now it's justified. You see? So yeah, I'm not going to eat the gumbo that has the pork and the sausage and the crab, but I'm going to have the gumbo that the sinners made for me. Do you hear this pride and arrogance? That when they go there, they know that I don't eat that, so they don't make that. They make a special one for me. I'm special. And I hope you guys don't get mad at me, but I'm about to say something. What the hell are you doing there? Now we're the ones who's supposed to show up and say, I'm special, make a special meal for me because I follow the Most High, but I'm here among all you sinners. That's the same stuff that the Christians talk about, what Christ did, is it not? It's exactly the same thing. He says, they say to me, this is what these people say to Yah. Keep your distance, don't come near me because I'm holier than you. That's what they said to the Most High. We don't have any room for your way. We already know that we're holy. We have your spirit. We follow you. He said, these are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burns all day. See, it's written before me, I will not be silent until I repay them. I will repay them to full your own crimes and those of your ancestors together, says Yahweh. They offered incense on the mountains and they insulted me on the hills. First, I will measure out their wages and then repay them in full. So all the stuff that the ancestors did, they're doing the same exact thing. That's why they're all going to get it together. That's why he's going to bring them out to the wilderness. And the crimes that your ancestors did that I didn't destroy all of you for, I'm going to put it all on you in the desert. I'm killing you. Here's what Yahweh says. This is what Yahweh says in 8. Listen very carefully. Because now he's talking about as when juice is found in a cluster of grapes. Well, when is that juice found? What time? What season? We just went over it. It's in October to November. It is the harvest of the grapes. Okay. So Yah is saying, listen, and that's why he said you guys made a table for this guy and you gave him all kind of wine because it's during this time. Okay, so they might have decorated and called it Thanksgiving. They might have said it's because, we're over the Civil War. It might be because they murdered a whole bunch of indigenous people that's a part of the lands and massacred them. But how do you and I don't know that that's attached to their gods that they have, that they worship, that allowed them to kill those people? We think that they're just doing this because they're doing it because they made it up. Everything, the celebration is to a God. It's to a God. If it's not for Yahweh, then who is it for? It has to be for the God that they worship. Who are they giving their thanks to? Let's ask that question. Who are these people giving thanks to today? They're not giving it to our Elohim. They're giving it to somebody, okay? They're venerating somebody. But listen what Yah says. As when juice is found in a cluster of grapes and people say, don't destroy it, there is still some good in it. So I likewise will do for the sake of my servants and not destroy them all. I'm not going to destroy all of them. I will destroy some of them and not all of them. But the ones that I'm not going to destroy are the ones who still have some good in it. And what he's talking about is his servants. We're going to have some good in us. We have a little bit of good. And the good that you and I have is the good that Yah recognizes and say, you know what? You guys decided to fear me. According to Malachi chapter number 3, you decided to abandon the ways of the wicked. You decided not to follow their customs. And because you decided that, I'll spare you. because everybody else is getting killed. Everybody else is getting killed. And in context, if you look at this, he says, I will bring forth the descendants of Yaakov, heirs of my mountains from Yehuda, and my chosen ones will possess them, and my servants will live there. That's where his servants are going to live, because they're the ones that he chose. The servants. That's why in the same 165, he goes on and says, hey, my servants will do this. My servants will do that. So what we see is that as a servant of the Most High, you and I have a choice to make. And let me commend you. If you are coming into this walk and this understanding, and you decided this year that, you know what, I'm not going to sit down with these people and celebrate the massacre of a whole bunch of people, and I'm not going to worship another God, because the God that they worship it's not my Elohim. You made a decision, you made a choice. I commend you for that. If you made the error of saying, you know what, I don't want to, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue about it. Now you know. Now you know. Do not put your hand to nothing to have to do with the wicked. Period. Don't have nothing to do with them. Don't try to save no relationship, because it's not going to be worth it. Because Yah had asked a question, you're going to befriend people that hate me. You're going to help those who are evil and wicked. And then you're going to befriend them. Those that you know that hate me. So now it's a matter of us making a decision. So that's what it is. And guess what? Some of us is difficult and some of us is not. For me, it's not, because I really understand it, because of what Dawid said. Dawid refused to sit at the table with people that hate Yah. He said his whole goal was to destroy the wicked from the land, because he understood something about the wicked that you and I don't understand, is that, guess what? The wicked, if they don't turn, they're no good for nobody. They're no good for anybody. I shared with you earlier this week about crimes that you and I can commit. Any crimes that you and I commit against the King of the universe, he says, I'm going to hold you to that. A lot of people have been telling us that, no, he's not going to do that to you. He's going to let you go. No, he's not. He's not. He's not. If you commit adultery, you're dead. You sold something, you didn't pay it back for somebody, you're not coming in. You're not circumcised, you're not going to the land. You don't want to listen to the Torah. You hate Yah. You're an abomination. Your prayer is an abomination. And remember, he says, well, I'm not doing this for your sake, Israel. You should be ashamed and dismayed for your ways. The only reason why you and I are going back is because Yahweh decided to take those back whom he had promised to our fathers that your descendants will come into this land. But the individuals that are going back are the ones who is decided that I'm going to be wholehearted. I'm going to turn my heart over to you. I'm going to give you 100% of who I am. I'm not going to put nobody in front of you. I'm not going to put no food in front of you. I'm not going to put no woman in front of you. I'm not going to put no man in front of you. I'm not going to put no job in front of you. I'm not going to put nothing in front of you. Because I love you and I'm committed to you. And I understand that I'm nothing but dust and ashes. And if you told me that this is wrong, then I know what is wrong.